guys, and welcome back to Simply Forex, the channel dedicated to you, the trader. We want you to be successful in the markets. So guys, I'm going to give you some gold every day. I'm going to let you know which currency pairs I'm looking to trade and which direction. And I'm also going to let you know which news that you must be aware of. If you like these vids, then please subscribe to the channel and like and share. So let's take a look at the chart and what I'm potentially going to trade today.
Morning traders, and welcome back to Simply Forex. I hope you had a good trading day yesterday. Please leave a comment, let me know how your trading's going, or if you need help with anything, please leave a question in the comments below the vid. Right guys, it's Wednesday, it's the 13th of April. We're going to start with a recap of yesterday's trades. We had 4 potential trades yesterday, so let's look at each one individually. The first one was this was the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, and we were looking to short this market because as you can see, the market was in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, but we didn't create a higher high. Okay, and in fact, this low here was taken out with this candle. Okay, so we had lower lows, the structure of the day chart had changed, so we were looking for shorts because we had this and this candle. Okay, both negative, and we just wanted to take price back down to this blue line or even this blue line. Okay, and as you can see, we've had some rejection at our grey zones, but let's look at H1 to see exactly what happened. Right guys, so yeah, as you can see, price did come up to our grey zone. Yeah, I didn't like these candles. These didn't tell me that sellers were in control. Neither did this candle. Yeah, because of this candle, basically. This candle was so bullish. It wasn't until this candle, guys. This candle here. This is the only candle that told me that sellers were in control. So I entered on this candle here, put my stop just above these highs here. And I actually closed my trade at roughly 1:1. Once price come up and then come back down to this low, all right, I closed 80% of my trade. All right, so yeah, I got roughly a risk to reward of 1:1, closed 80% here. Okay, guys. I also knew that we had the interest rate decision for the New Zealand dollar coming out this morning. So yeah, I wasn't reluctant to let this trade run. So as you can see this morning, look at this large crazy wick. This is because of the interest rate decision of New Zealand. It was actually better than expected. All right, so my 20% that has just been taken out. Yeah, I was going to leave 20% to run, yeah, down to here. But as you can see, my 20% has just been taken out. But I am in profit because I closed 80% of my trade here. Okay, so good trade. Yeah, New Zealand US dollar. The next trade was this. This was the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. If you remember, we've seen a lot of New Zealand dollar weakness. So as you can see, yeah, price was in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Didn't create a higher high, okay? It didn't create a lower low. And then the market just didn't know what to do with itself, okay? It wasn't until this candle here, this bearish candle, that I was looking for shorts because it had broken these lows here. Only just, but it did break them. So for me, we have lower lows, the structure is downwards. And all we were trying to do, guys, was take price back down to this blue line or even this blue line. Okay, let's look at the H1 to see what actually happened. So again, guys, yeah, price came up to our grey zone, but none of these candles, yeah, none of these candles here, this candle, none of these candles told me that sellers are in control. Okay, so for me, I just didn't have an entry for this pair. Yeah, once price leaves this grey zone, yeah, I'm a little reluctant to take any shorts after that. Okay, so for me, guys, sellers never took control of this market in our grey zone, so I didn't have a trade. Okay, but again, just look at this wick now. Look how crazy, yeah, the market is reacting to this news of the New Zealand dollar interest rate decision. Okay, so yeah, New Zealand Canadian dollar, no trade, guys. Next one. From yesterday, we had this. This was the New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc. So a similar scenario to some of the other pairs with the New Zealand. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And then eventually, this last low here, yeah, gets taken out with this bearish candle here. So structure has changed. We're getting lower lows. And again, with this bearish candle here, we got another lower low, okay? And the highs remained intact. So this is clearly in a downtrend to me, all right? And all we were looking to do, guys, was trade from one of these grey zones back down to this blue line here, this higher time frame target. Okay, but let's look at H1 to see what actually happened and if we could get in on the trade. As you can see, guys, yeah, price did retrace into our grey zone, but at no point were sellers in control. Yeah, no, and then it left the grey zone. Okay, and now it's actually come up to our higher time frame grey zone. All right, and as you can see, price has reacted here. It'd be interesting to see what this does after the interest rate decision. Okay, but currently no trade, and yesterday we just didn't have a trade, guys. At no point were sellers in control. Okay, so New Zealand Swiss franc, no trade. All right, and then finally, guys, we've got the euro against the Swiss franc. This was a trade idea from yesterday, and this pair just keeps giving, guys. Yeah, this is the pair that gives you profits currently. So yeah, why were we looking to short this market? Why were we looking to short this market? Well, price was in a downtrend. It come down, created a new high. It also created a low, but it never created a new high. Okay, so at this point, I wasn't sure what the market was doing, but eventually this low was taken out, yeah, with this candle here. So we had lower lows, all right? And then for the last 2 days, guys, we've had, we had this very bearish candle form. Okay, guys, so this gives me all the reasons to go short. And sure enough, we hit our blue target, and then we still have room to potentially this target as well, guys. Okay, so Euro Swiss franc was a short trade. Let's look at H1 to see if we could get in. And as you can see, guys, price came up to our grey zone, and then we got this red candle here. Yeah, this tells me that sellers have taken control of this market. Okay, it's reacted at our grey zone. I got a slight retrace. I entered roughly here, put my stop above here. Okay, I didn't close 80% of the trade at these last lows because I just didn't get a risk to reward of 1:1. So instead, guys, I let 100% of the trade run down to this blue line. Okay, I closed 100% of the trade here for a very nice profit. Okay, if we take a look at this, it worked out at roughly, so it was a 20 pip stop loss, and we come down to here. So roughly 1:2 risk to reward. Okay, so I really hope you took this trade, guys. It was a really nice trade on the Euro Swiss franc. Okay, guys, so yeah, 2 of the pairs were profitable, and 2 of the pairs we simply didn't have a trade from yesterday. Right, guys, let's take a look at today's trades now and what we could potentially trade. Guys, if you enjoyed yesterday's recap, then please smash that like button. Yeah, it really helps support the channel. And come and subscribe. Come join us at Simply Forex. Okay, so 2 trades for today, for Wednesday the 13th of April. The first one is this. This is the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. So it was clearly in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And we don't get a higher high, guys, yeah? and this last low has been taken out. So yeah, we now have lower lows, okay, as you can see. Okay, so I believe, well, it's clearly in a downward structure, this market now. Okay, and we had, although it was a green candle, yesterday we had a, quite a large wick reject our grey zone. Okay, so I still think we can take price down to this blue line or even this blue line, guys. Okay, let's look at H1 to see exactly how we want to execute. Right, so we've got a couple of options here, guys. So as you can see, price has already come up to our grey zone, and we've had a very, very bearish candlestick pattern form. Okay, super bearish. Don't get any more bearish than that. Okay, but it's literally just happened after some news, guys. So I want the market to settle. Okay, so what I'm still looking for is price to retrace up into this grey zone. Okay, then I'm looking for another bearish candlestick pattern, guys. Okay, just because I want the market to settle first. If I get one, then great. I'll enter the market. That will be our trigger. I will take price, first of all, back down to these lows, where I will close 80% of the trade, and then I'll leave 20% to run down to our higher time frame targets. Okay. If that doesn't happen, guys, because of this very bearish candle, what might happen is price will break this grey zone. Okay, it will come back up, it will retest it. We want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form. That's always our trigger. And then we can take price lower again. Okay, we can close 80% of our trade at this low here, and then leave 20% to run down to our higher time frame target. All right, guys, so New Zealand against the US dollar, we've got a couple of options there, but we're looking to short this market. Next trade we're looking at is this. This is the euro against the Swiss franc, the trade that keeps giving. Again, guys, I won't spend too much time on telling you why, because we've looked at this many times, but it came down. It's clearly in a downtrend. It's created a lower high. It's also created a low, all right, but it didn't create a new high. And then eventually this low here was broken, okay? So we're clearly in a downward structure, all right? And then the last 2 days, as you can see, we've had these very bearish candles form. So this just tells me we can take price back down to this blue line at 0050, and then even this blue line, which is these last lows here. Okay, guys, so we're looking to short this market. Let's look at H1 for execution. Yeah, so what we want to see, guys, is price retrace up into this grey zone. Then we want to see a bearish candlestick pattern. If you don't know what a bearish candlestick pattern is, then please check out some of my tutorials. That is always our trigger, the candlestick pattern. So when we see one of those, we will enter. We will close 80% of the trade at our last low. This is always our first target, the last H1 low or high. Okay, close 80% and then leave 20% to run down to our higher time frame target. All right, guys, so yeah, euro, Swiss franc, but also looking to short this market. All right, guys, so there's the 2 potential trades for today. Let's take a look at the news. Guys, if you've been enjoying this daily morning analysis and would like to receive it every single morning, Monday to Friday, then please subscribe to the channel and smash that notification button. That way you'll receive an alert and you'll get it every single morning. Right, okay, guys, so the news for today, Wednesday the 13th of April. As you can see, guys, overnight we had that big interest rate decision. Yeah, huge news for the New Zealand dollar, and it was better than expected, okay? And in the charts that I just showed you, it had a very negative reaction. Yeah, you would expect this to be very positive. So it just goes to show, guys, you can't predict what the news is going to do or the outcome it's going to have. Yeah, I never trade the news. I just trade the technicals and what the chart is telling me. But obviously you have to be aware of the news, because you don't want to be in a trade when some important news comes out. Okay, So yeah, that's been and gone, guys. So the next piece of big news that we're looking at today is at 6 o'clock GMT coming out of the UK. We have CPI data, so inflation data. So this could move any pound pair. If we carry on down, as you can see, we don't have anything now until 12:30. Coming out of the US, another 3-star rating. We have PPI data, so this could affect any US dollar pair. And then at 2 o'clock, guys, GMT, we have some huge, big news coming out for the Canadian dollar, yeah? So we have another interest rate decision, okay? So this is for the Canadian dollar this time. So guys, you must be aware when this news comes out if you're in a Canadian dollar trade, all right? Yeah, so this can really move the Canadian dollar, guys, okay? So be aware of that. At 2:30 GMT, we have some crude oil inventories coming out of the US. So that can move the US dollar and the Canadian dollar because oil and the Canadian dollar are highly correlated. Okay, and then if we carry on down, the last piece of important news at 3 o'clock GMT, it's the press conference from the Bank of Canada that's going to discuss the interest rate decision. So yeah, this can move the market just as much as the release of the data itself. Okay, so again, must be aware of that, guys. All right, guys, so yeah, quite a busy news day. Yeah, so I hope you have a good trading day as well, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the vid. If you have, please subscribe, like, and share. Have a great trading day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.